So you've got a pile of American Express points. You might be sitting on an absolute gold mine and not even know it. But here's the deal. Most people are leaving a shocking amount of value on the table. In this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to unlock the true power of your points.
Okay, let's say you have 50,000 Amex points. The most obvious thing to do is cash them out, right? That gets you 300 bucks. It's simple, it's easy, and it's also the worst possible value you can get. But what if I told you that those exact same 50,000 points could be worth this, $4,600? No, that is not a typo. That's more than 15 times the value. And the only difference is strategy. And this chart just lays it all out there. It's what we call the redemption value gap. On the left, you've got that standard cashback. And way over on the right, that's the potential when you use something called transfer partners. Our entire goal today is to show you how to leap from that tiny bar on the left to that massive one on the right. So what's the big secret? It all comes down to one golden rule. You have to transfer your points out of the Amex ecosystem and into the loyalty programs of their airline partners. This is it. This is the single most important thing you need to know to get crazy value. And this table here breaks it down perfectly. Let's call it good, better, best. The good option, which is actually not so good, is cashback at just 0.6 cents per point. Better is using the Amex travel portal, which gets you about 1 cent per point. But the best, and I mean by a mile, is transferring to partners. You can get anywhere from 2 to over 9 cents per point. This is where the magic happens. Okay, enough theory. Let's make this real with our first case study. This is a classic, super high-value redemption that's actually way easier than you think. A business class ticket on one of the world's best airlines.
So picture this. You want to fly business class from New York to Frankfurt. If you book through the Amex portal, that flight's going to cost you a whopping 181,000 points. But if you transfer your points directly to Singapore Airlines frequent flyer program, that same seat on the same flight costs you only 81,000 points. And let's talk about what that really means. For that amazing business class seat, you're getting 2.23 cents for every single point. That is more than double the portal rate and almost 4 times the value of just taking the cash. It's a no-brainer.
And you might be thinking, this sounds complicated. It's not. It's just 4 simple steps. First, you go to the airline's website and find award availability. That's just the fancy term for a seat they've set aside for points. Step 2, you create a free account with their program. Once you've confirmed that flight is available, you transfer exactly 81,000 points from Amex. Then you book it. Now, one really important warning. These transfers are one way, and they can take a day or two. So you always, and I mean always, confirm the flight is there before you move your points. But look, this whole strategy isn't just for champagne and lie-flat seats. Let's look at a really smart economy redemption that can save you a ton of actual cash on a pretty popular trip. Okay, a flight from New York to Dublin can easily run you over 700 bucks. But by transferring your points to Aer Lingus, you can book that same flight for just 13,000 points, plus about $100 in fees. So how do we figure out if that's actually a good deal? To do that, you need this formula. Burn this one into your brain. You take the cash price of the ticket, you subtract any fees you have to pay, and then you divide that number by the points you used. This gives you the true, honest-to-goodness value you're getting per point. And when we run the numbers for that Dublin flight, bam, you are getting a value of 4.76 cents per point for an economy ticket. This is just a fantastic example of how transferring points can give you huge savings on normal travel, not just bucket list trips. All right, for our final case study, we're going to level up. What happens when you want to fly on an airline that isn't even a direct Amex partner? This, my friends, is where the real pros find some absolutely insane value. So here's the goal. American Airlines flagship first class from New York to London, a ticket that costs almost $6,000 cash. Now, American isn't an Amex transfer partner, so booking this with Amex points, that seems impossible, right? Well, it's not. The journey, as always, starts with your Amex points. But since we can't send them straight to American, we have to get a little creative. We need a workaround. So step 1 is we transfer our points to Etihad Guest, which is a direct Amex partner. So now our Amex points have become Etihad miles. So what's the connection? Well, here's the trick. Etihad and American Airlines are partners, which means you can use the Etihad miles you just created to book that American Airlines flight. It's like a little travel hacking triangle. And how many points does this almost $6,000 first-class flight cost?
Get this. Just $62,500. That is just unbelievable. Okay, now for a move like this, here is the most important pro tip of the day. Because you can't book this online, you have to call Etihad's customer service first. You ask them to find the award space on the American flight. Once they say, yes, we see it, then you transfer the points from Amex to Etihad while you still have them on the phone. The payoff for that little bit of extra work is just mind-blowing. You're getting a value of 9.36 cents per point. That is more than 15 times more valuable than just cashing them out for that $300. This is the absolute peak of redeeming points strategically. So let's take everything we just learned from these case studies and boil it all down into a simple playbook you can use every single time you want to book a trip. Here are your 4 golden rules. Number 1, be flexible. Those special award seats are limited, so searching a few different dates is key. 2, always do the math. Always calculate your cents per point value to make sure you're getting a good deal. 3, confirm that award space before you transfer. And 4, remember, once those points leave Amex, they're not coming back. Transfers are a one-way street. So there you have it. You no longer have to settle for a measly $300. You now have the knowledge, you have the strategy to unlock thousands of dollars in travel. The only question left is, where are your points